It's an all NBA question. So obviously, there's been a lot of talk with Cade this year and what team he could possibly make from first team all the way down to third team. So I want to ask you this, Sean. What team do you think Cade could possibly make? And would you be surprised if it was first team?
I wouldn't be surprised if it was first team. If I had a vote, I would vote first team. I think he certainly deserves to be in that conversation, not just because of his individual things that he's done this year, but because of the jump that the Pistons have made and the significant turnaround that they've had. It gets a lot more interesting because of, to your point of earlier, the guys who are not going to meet that 65 game mark, guys like Kyrie Irving, Luka Doncic, guys who that would certainly be in that conversation are just not going to be because of those restrictions. Jalen Brunson, it's going to be interesting to see, if he's going to be involved in those or not, because if he doesn't come back, this season, it's very possible he's not going to be eligible for that either. So if that list continues to grow, then I think first team becomes very, very attainable. But I think the most likely and where the conversation starts, in my opinion, is at second team. I think third team would be, quite frankly, a little disrespectful just to the season that he's had and the consistent level of play that he's had all season long. Like there's really only one guard who is for sure first team All NBA, and that's Shea. That's the only one. I think the other one that you would throw in there and you would really have the debate is Cade and Anthony Edwards. I think those are kind of where you're having that debate. And, that's where the voting gets a little inconsistent because some people will go with Ant because of the position of shooting guard. But on the other hand, we're talking about how positionless the game is and how these things really don't matter. So to me, if you're just picking the two best guards in the league this year, it's Cade and Shea. But if you're focusing more on positions, that's where Ant might get that bump. So it's a stupid conversation from that standpoint. But to me, in my opinion, I think Cade deserves All NBA first team. What do I think's going to happen? I think he's going to get second team.
I think I'm with you in the same opinion of I think it starts at second team, and you could talk yourself up to first team. I know some people in the live chat bring up Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell has had a very good season with the best team in the Eastern Conference in the Cleveland Cavaliers. I don't think anyone can refute that.
He's had an awesome season.
My only thing is if you take Cade Cunningham off the Detroit Pistons right now, this team doesn't have 40 wins.
No.
That's why I think he's deserving of a first team All NBA. And I know there's going to be shades. You could make an argument for other players, if you want to go positionless, Tatum, I think could possibly be in there. You could make an argument for Cat because he's having a good season. But if you're just talking about guards, it's Cade, SGA, those are the two guards I think I look at in respective conferences, and they've been the best guards night in and night out on the respected basketball teams.
Yeah.
I hope he does get a first team All NBA, going from 14 wins to making first team All NBA, and you have contract incentives to get more money if you make a All NBA team. That's added motivation. I think if I'm Cade Cunningham to try to get to that first team All NBA and kind of just show the world start paying attention to me. I'm with the elites of the elites. I got next. I'd love to see him on first team All NBA, but you know how the national media is. It's very narrative driven. I know I've heard local guys Bill Simmons said he would take Cade Cunningham over Anthony Edwards on his second team ballot. I think some people, when they talk about first teams, they're talking about the elites of the elite, the Tatums, the LeBrons, the SGAs. I don't know if Cade is going to be able to make a first team, but if he does, I'll be probably the happiest Piston fan in the world for him.
Well, and I think if there's anything to watch to really make that case, more of an open possibility, it's how many more games Jalen Brunson plays down the stretch of this season. Because if he indeed just doesn't come back until postseason time, that leaves him right at 61. which is going to be 4 games short of that 65 game mark of being eligible for any of these awards. If he gets to 65, I think it's a lot more of a difficult conversation because you're splitting hairs. You're talking about, like all these different things because Brunson's had an incredible season too, right? Like I know people are going to look at Trae Young's assist numbers, bring him up as well. That he's third team in my opinion. All due respect to Trae Young, but I just when you look at everyone on both sides of the court, the overall impact on the team, and to your point, the narrative, the story behind Cade's season and the significance behind it. I think there's more than enough of a case for first team to be a thing. That's why just like you said, knowing the national media, knowing the landscape as a whole, I just think second team is probably the most likely route.
Yeah, I mean, like if he makes second team, I'm not mad of it. I know you mentioned it. If he makes third team, that's just kind of like, what are we doing here? I don't think he'll make third team, but hey, you never know with the way the media is. Like I remember, I can't remember if it was. I think it was Jaden Ivey in Jalen Duren's rookie season when I was doing this podcast, and I was just like, yeah, I was like, watch him be like left off first team all rookie, and that's exactly what happened. Just because that's how the national media is. But the Pistons are winning more games now, which makes me believe that winning cures all. And like, say the Pistons have like 44, 45 wins to end the season, possibly more. Then I think they could have a easier time of like putting Cade as a first team All NBA on the ballot list.
I mean, if you were to go around and ask anyone in the league, is this team going to be over 500? How many of them would said yes?
Very few.
I think that makes Cade's case in itself.
Yeah, I think you're right. I know Kendrick Perkins says he's pushing for Cade first team All NBA. I have a beef with Kendrick Perkins because like Kendrick,
when Kendrick Perkins is on your side, it almost makes you kind of question your take a little bit. Like he really wants to make you go back because it's like he's on the wrong side of it so many times. But like on the other hand, it's like he's got this right at least. We know that.
Like I want to acknowledge that he has that, but like there's been so many times this season where he's kind of taken little jabs at the Pistons, and I don't think Pistons fans are even aware of it. Where I think he just kind of wants to kind of ride that wave, and he said that exactly after he hit that game winner. So he was maybe just trying to get some clout that way, get more viewers. But hey, man, like you got Bill Simmons up there talking like Cade could possibly make first team All NBA, and Bill's like a notorious like Celtics guy. Then I take that with a little bit more weight. But Kendrick Perkins, I don't really. Oh, Kendrick Perkins said it. Like,
Here's what I'll say: if there's anyone that's going to celebrate if/when the Pistons get eliminated, don't be surprised when Shaquille O'Neal goes on some victory lap or does some extravagant thing on TNT because he can finally go back and say, I told y'all they were never going to win a championship. It's like, that was never the conversation, Shaq. But you know what? You do you, man.
I'm so glad Greg Kelser like took a shot today during the Pistons pregame, basically saying it's just like you're in the seat, you're supposed to watch all the games. It's just like what the hell are you talking about? Like they're the best story in the NBA. Like everyone's talking about them except for you. But I kind of got into that last week. I think he's still salty about 04 personally.
Oh, absolutely he is. And I mean, he literally said on Pat McAfee last week, on my off night, am I going to watch Thunder Celtics or am I going to go on a hot date? So he's literally said himself, he's not watching the NBA on his off nights. And that's one of your largest analyst, one of your highest paid analysts in the league.
$15 million a year. Good luck, ESPN.
Mm-hmm.
Good luck getting ratings.